Professional wrestling is incredible. Am I right? This exhilarating sport/spectacle holds a special place in entertainment, pop culture, and the hearts of wrestling fans all over the world. Since before I was born, the Wrestling Observer newsletter has been the top dog of insider wrestling information. Something that has always made the Observer newsletter stand out from the rest of the wrestling media was the match ratings. If a match got 5 stars, it's technically a sin against wrestling not to go out of your way to see it. And for years, no, decades, if a match did manage to get 5 stars from Uncle Dave, it carried a lot of weight, because it wasn't easy. To put emphasis on that, keep in mind that from the year 2000 until the year 2010, there were only 7 matches awarded 5 stars by the Observer. Only 7 in a decade. Currently, we're spoiled, living in an age of Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada, FTR, the Briscoes, and many others, who are taking wrestling into a new golden era with 5-star matches every time you turn around. Along with that, when you go back in time and look up some of the all-time greats who had 5-star matches like Ric Flair, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, Mitsuharu Misawa, Kenta Kobashi, and so many others, you really get the idea of how prestigious and noteworthy this is, if only to the fans. However, sometimes when looking through all the recipients of a 5-star ratings, I found a few that I was not aware of, and a few I could not believe. So with that in mind, I'm Walt, the most gangster nerd on YouTube, and these are 10 wrestlers you didn't know had a 5-star match. Number 10, Lars Sullivan. What can I say about this abomination that hasn't already been said about ignorance, hypocrisy, and self-hatred? During his run in NXT, he was the gigantic, unstoppable force that you prayed you didn't run into. An insurmountable mountain of anger and elevated testosterone, usually clad in red trunks and black boots, the majority of his matches were one-sided massacres. Lars comes out, yells, scary, stomps to the ring with his angry face, throws opponent around, smashes opponent. Not that exciting for a fan like me who wants work rate, but I get it. Lars Sullivan showing up in the Wrestling Observer newsletter and not embarrassing himself was actually a really big surprise for me. But back in 2018, Lars would face off against Adam Cole, EC3, Killian Dane, Ricochet, and Velveteen Dream. When you think about it, Lars is really the only person in this match that doesn't belong. Granted, he, EC3, and Killian Dane would all pick up their only 5-star rating with this match. However, look at the company he keeps in this match. And what was his major contribution to it? Yeah, exactly. Number 9, Chuck Taylor. One of my personal favorites of early AEW, back when it still had that super indie feel to it. Chuck Taylor is not a technician like Bret Hart or Ric Flair, and he's not a $1 million physique like Bobby Lashley or Roman Reigns. But you know what he actually is? Entertaining and talented. His resume speaks for itself. A 2-time PWG World Champion, holding tag team gold with Drew Gallagher in Evolve and Johnny Gargano in Chikara. He's been champ in several indie promotions. That being said, you think I'd expect him to be on Uncle Dave's 5-star list multiple times, but that's just not the case. When I watch a match with Chuck Taylor, I'm never disappointed. I love the hug spot with Trent and Orange Cassidy, but I just don't go expecting a 5-star classic from him. So, I was pleasantly surprised to find out that in September of 2020, the Best Friends versus Santana and Ortiz in a parking lot fight was awarded 5 stars. And to me, this was a great match. There were some good spots. Orange Cassidy was there. And after the Best Friends picked up the win, Trent's mom picked them up in the minivan and flipped off Santana and Ortiz as she drove away. Come to think of it, why am I surprised that this got 5 stars? Number 8, Bull Nakano. Okay, legit, this woman scared the shit out of me when I was younger. And can you blame me? seeing her give Alundra Blaze the business. She was briefly WWF Women's Champion. I also found out she's the inaugural CMLL Women's Champ. That's something you know now. You're welcome. But for all these wars I've seen her battle against Blaze, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't exactly see classic match written on any of them. I had no idea at the time, but just 3 years previous, she had a banger match in All Japan Women Wrestling against Akira Hakuto. And this match is a barn burner. It's a slobber knocker, and in my opinion, still stands up to today. Women's wrestling may not be everyone's cup of tea, but it is definitely worth hunting down on the interwebs to see. Sheamus. I think Sheamus is incredible. He's got the look, he has the ability, he can talk. He's a complete package. Over the years, I've seen him be involved in some great, if not controversial moments. His defeat of Bryan Daniel Bryanson at WrestleMania in a few seconds, him and Drew McIntyre beating the living daylights out of each other several times, and that time he saved his cousin Beaker from Christian. That's the kind of range you cannot help but enjoy. I even liked it when he changed his look, getting rid of the mohawk and going full Mickey O'Neill from Snatch. Now, I don't mean this in a negative way at all, but I never really expected Sheamus to ever get a 5-star match. Not that his matches aren't great, because they are, and not because he can't wrestle, because he can. Keep in mind that Sheamus burst onto the scene in 2009, and has already held the big prize several times. I just kinda figured if it was gonna happen, it would have already. But how wrong I was. 13 years after his WWE debut, Sheamus would lock horns with another European hoss, Gunther. The build-up to this match was absolutely awesome, with the stare down while the teammates brawl. That was my favorite. But the actual match we got at Clash at the Castle, which was the best match of the night, was an epic for the ages. There's all the hard-hitting action you'd expect, and the Walter chops. Just look at his chest. And the finish. Sheamus hits the Celtic Cross. Gunther kicks out at 2 7/8 perfection. Sheamus may not have won the IC belt that night, but he definitely showed he's one of the best. Number 6, Vader. Vader was my first main bad guy in wrestling. I remember his feud with Sting. The White Castle of Fear? No, don't get drug into the fire, Sting! Fight back! But before all of that, Vader was wreaking havoc all over Japan. He destroyed Antonio Inoki in his first match, caused a riot and got New Japan banned from Sumo Hall. He would go on to win the IWGP Heavyweight title 3 times, take a trip to Mexico and defeat the legendary El Canek for the UWA World Heavyweight title, then head to WCW, win the world title 3 times. He then had the awesome UWF run in Japan. Then he went to WWE, where they failed him utterly. I will never understand what went on there. After spinning wheels for 2 years, he would return to Japan, sign with All Japan Pro Wrestling, and prove how stupid WWE was to let him slip through their fingers. He would be involved in some classic feuds with Kenta Kobashi and Mitsuharu Misawa, and contribute to the magic that was 90s All Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, all that aside, I never seen Vader as a technical wizard or a super worker. He was a gigantic, marauding brute who pummeled his competition into the ground. I never thought Vader would have a 5-star match. Turns out, he did though. Big Van Vader versus Kaiji Muto in the 1991 G1 Climax. And like most other 5-star matches, it still holds up today. The finish is especially well done. Kaiji can't do anything with Vader, when out of nowhere, Muto manages a reversal, ties Vader up, and gets the 3 count. It's only made better as Vader then shakes his hand after the match. Chef's kiss. Number 5, John Cena. Big Match John. I can't lie, I've always enjoyed John Cena. I didn't quite understand everything that has went on with his WWE career. Examples, The Nexus, Bray Wyatt, and that first match against AJ Styles. That being said, the face that runs the place hasn't ever been known for his lack of wrestling prowess, though sometimes he's more sizzle than steak, but that doesn't get in the way. He can get a crowd reaction, he's cutthroat on the mic if he needs to be, and he puts the work in that is required of a megastar. Going back to Money in the Bank 2011, the WWE version of the Summer of Punk was coming, and I don't care what anybody says, none of us seen this coming. CM Punk was supposedly on the way out. This was going to be yet another Cena wins LOL, until it happened. Now, CM Punk had one of the only 5-star matches of the 2000s. Seeing him and John Cena tear down a WWE ring was incredible. Now, I will never accuse the C in C Nation of not being a good wrestler. He definitely is. But putting on a 5-star classic potential match of the year when WWE hadn't had a 5-star match in over 10 years, and to add to that, there hadn't been a 5-star match in 5 years in general, this just shows you never know what's coming in wrestling. Number 4, Minoru Suzuki. When it comes to good, hard-hitting, punishingly brutal professional wrestling, it don't get much better than Murder Grandpa. This man is the definition of legit. With 30 wins in mixed martial arts, tapping out 22 of those wins, being a former King of Pancrase, and has legit wins over Ken Shamrock, Maurice Smith, and Guy Mesger. He has held championship gold all over the world, be it in Japan, Europe, or America. When you watch a match with Minoru Suzuki, you're gonna wince. He always beats the living tar out of whoever he's up against. Best example, just watch him and Samoa Joe exchange shots in their ROH TV title match. Chop, chop, chop. This is Samoa Joe before the match, and this is him after the match. Fake, huh? Much like a lot of other wrestlers on this list, I'm not watching his matches for the technical wizardry or the storytelling in the ring. I want to see a fight. However, I got both out of that 2012 Wrestling Observer Match of the Year between Minoru Suzuki and Hiroshi Tanahashi. This match had everything you would want considering who's involved, except the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, but we had to wait 5 more years for that. And even though Suzuki lost, he made one hell of a show out of it. Johnny Ace. I have never liked Johnny Ace. He's been associated with more negativity and outright bad stuff in wrestling than any other human being, with the exception of Vince Russo, bro. Seriously, he has nothing redeeming him. And so many bad decisions. FYI, did you know Johnny Ace is the person that told Sid Vicious to incorporate moves off the ropes? It ended Sid's career. He's the reason WWE Women's Wrestling became more focused on TNA, not the organization, as opposed to wrestling. And you know, I'm glad he got fired, and I hope he's blacklisted from wrestling for life. What was I doing again? Oh yeah. So, in 1995, Johnny Ace had somehow found his way to All Japan Pro Wrestling, and was involved in a tag match. Kenta Kobashi and Mitsuharu Misawa versus Steve Williams and Johnny Ace. Let's look at that again. Kenta Kobashi, Mitsuharu Misawa, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Johnny Ace. One of these things is not like the others. The match is good, but in my opinion, Johnny Ace adds nothing to it. He's basically there so Steve Williams can rest between his spots, and to take the finish. Great wrestling? This match has it. Just fast forward through Johnny Ace's, and technically numbers 2 and 1, the Bushwhackers. Oh yeah, it's true. It's damn true. Luke and Butch may not have been named the Bushwhackers yet. They were at the time going by the equally intimidating moniker, the Sheepherders, which is only slightly more scary than their first team name, the Kiwis. Ain't that just terrifying? Imagine these guys dating your sister. Now don't sleep on Luke and Butch, they were awesome before they were nerfed in the WWF. They would win tag team gold all over the planet, be it in different territories in the United States and Canada, New Zealand and Australia, and even Puerto Rico. If you wanted blood, Luke and Butch made sure you got it. Seriously, if you never knew about them pre-Bushwhackers, watch anything they did in the UWF or the old NWA, and you will develop WTF syndrome and wonder what Vince could have possibly been thinking. Getting back on subject, the bushwhacking, sheep-herding, Kiwi-loving brutes had their only 5-star match in 1986 at the Crockett Cup against fellow wrestling trivia hard question answers Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, known as the Fantastics. This is also the Fantastics' only 5-star match, the more you know. This match is great. Everybody gets busted open, the action is fierce. The brutal style builds the drama of the match to a violent crescendo in which all hell breaks loose and chaos rules, where technically the Fantastics won. But did they ever get a run in the WWE? No. Did they ever get into the Hall of Fame? No. Yeah, so who really won? And that's the list. Now, we both know I'm right, but just in case I missed something or you know of another wrestler, hit me up in the comments, cause I want to know. I'm Walt, the most gangsta nerd on YouTube, and I'll be seeing you soon enough.